Hello everyone, I hope you're all having a fabulous Monday. Today I'm coming at you with our weekly Minks Monday Q&A. Unfortunately, I don't have a bag to share with you since I'm still recuperating, but I am dying to use the goodies behind me. So grab your coffee, grab your tea, let's start your workout, let's do your laundry, whatever it is that you do, come join me. However, before I get right into Minks Monday, if you don't want to hear about where I've been and just kind of jump right into the questions, I will put a timestamp in the description box below so you can bypass all this and then just get, into the questions. But for those of you, where the heck have I been for the last week? For those of you that do follow me on Instagram, a lot of you already know. But last week I was hospitalized and I had to have emergency surgery. And I was terrified, to say the least. Earlier that week, I had gone to the emergency room because I was having chest pains, abdominal pain, and back pain simultaneously. And at the emergency room, they couldn't find out what it was. They slapped some painkillers on it and said, if it doesn't get better, talk to your head physician. And throughout the week, I was getting better, it seemed like, but then at night, the pain would start up again, and it was... I can honestly say that, and I don't want to get into it too much. I know a lot of you, again, watch with your children, that Sunday when I went to the emergency room, it felt like I was having a heart attack. And then I started having an anxiety attack on top of it, so it made it 10 times worse. So I wasn't in my right mind when I was talking to the physician. I couldn't really explain what was going on, and all I wanted to do is to get rid of the pain. So again, the pain was still continuously there throughout the week. So Robert and I were actually fishing last Friday or the previous Friday, and I started to have that pain once again. We're to the point where it was unbearable. And throughout this whole week, I've suffered from GI issues in the past. I was diagnosed with diverticulitis at a very young age. And I thought that's what it was, but it was in the wrong section. So again, that pain started. We went back to the emergency room. My head physician couldn't see me. And then finally they did further testing and they said, okay, we're admitting you. You need to have surgery like today. So when they did the further testing, it wasn't until they ended up ordering an ultrasound that they were able to see that it was actually my gallbladder that was causing me this much pain and this much discomfort because I had gallstones. So Robert got online. He was checking it out. To have your gallbladder, to have gallstones, it's very common. They end up, they can either remove the gallbladder or sometimes they can end up getting rid of the stones without having to go through surgery. But the doctor said because of my stones, I had to have it removed. So like I said, it's a very, very common surgery. But it wasn't until afterwards when the surgeon came out to see my family. At this point, I had already been out. He told my family that my gallstones were abnormally large. Usually when it comes to them, they're a lot smaller in size. I had 3 stones instead of a multitude of them. And mine were 1.5 inches in diameter each. So they were causing my gallbladder to had stopped working 5 to 6 years prior from what he can tell. So everything was going through my liver, and that's why I was in so much pain. And, throughout this entire time, I always had back pain. I always had abdominal pain, and I thought, maybe I ate something, maybe it was this, maybe it was that. Shame on me for not, checking it out further. But it's like, I can't even tell you how exhilarating it is to feel that my body is finally working the way that it's supposed to. So like I said before, I was terrified. I've never had surgery before in my life, and I didn't know what to expect. It was scary. So I'm on the mend now. I'm a very impatient person, not to the point where it's going to, hurt my health, but I needed to keep my mind occupied. I've been resting quite a bit. I've been taking it easy. I stopped taking the painkillers because I want to start to, I want to get back into the swing of things, but I do have 4 incisions on my abdomen, so it's really difficult for me to have a nice hearty laugh the way that I want to laugh. I have to limit myself to a chuckle, because otherwise the pain is there. But you know, I missed you guys terribly, terribly. And I wanted to come on here last week and let you know where I've been, because a lot of you sent me emails, direct messages to see where I've been, what happened, you know, and I didn't mean to worry any of you, but I couldn't function the way I needed to. So you can hear the chuckle. It's not my kind of laugh, you know. But hopefully that was just a small little bump, you know, to a long and healthy life. But they did remove everything. The surgery was somewhat, you know, 100% successful at the very end. I did end up having a rupture from what they were removing, and it ended up getting onto some of my other organs. So they ended up wanted to keep me an extra 24 hours to make sure that everything was okay for observation. So I was in the hospital for a few days, and like I said, nothing. It seems like once you're out of the hospital, once you're at home, once you're around familiar surroundings, I feel like you start to mend, and I feel like you start to get better a lot quicker, you know, and my family has been absolutely amazing. Robert was there every single step of the way. He took time off work, and it's been awesome. And then of course my nurse, Edward. But that's where I have been. So again, my apologies if I scared any of you, but I have to say a huge, huge, huge thank you to every single one of you who sent me text messages, emails, direct messages. I mean, just so many. I got so many uplifting, positive vibes from all of you. You know, you guys kept me in your thoughts, you kept me in your prayers, and it was just, I mean, sometimes I would start to get a little down in the dumps, and then I would get an email, I would get a message, and it is just so uplifting to have such an amazing community. So thank you guys so much from the bottom of my heart for all of the support, and for just keeping my spirits up, because it really does help. So I don't want to get too emotional. I know I tend to get emotional. But thank you guys again so much from the bottom of my heart. And hopefully I am back for good. I feel like this year I don't know, like I got sick before, and it's like it's going downhill, but no, we got to keep positive. Now we can get right into Minks Monday. Unfortunately, I don't have as many questions as I normally would, just because I started getting these before everything happened. So if I missed a few, my apologies. Hopefully next week we'll be right back on track, and we can have our usual Minks Monday. All right, so starting with the first question from Francesca C. I've been thinking of investing in some Chanel espadrilles, but I'm unsure on whether to get the beige and black lambskin or canvas fabric ones. Can I ask what you prefer and pros and cons to both? Wonderful question. As most of you know, I am a huge fan of espadrilles. And here I have the lambskin and black espadrilles, and I also have these fabric ones. They are the tan with the grayish black cap toe and the white sequence CC. Now there is also another version. They are the canvas version. Those I do not have, so I will just end up talking about these. Between the two, I most definitely prefer the lambskin for a few different reasons. I feel that the lambskin not only lets it almost seems like your foot can breathe a little bit better because it's all just leather, but I also feel that these break in a lot quicker than the fabric ones do, and I believe than the canvas ones as well, because even though they are lined with leather, as you can see, you still have this fabric up here that's not as giving as leather would be. So between the two, my preference has always been lambskin, but I am a big fan of the fabric ones in general. Like I said before, if I had to pick between the two, if I had to only choose one type of espadrille to wear for the rest of my life, it would definitely be the lambskin because of the reasons that I said earlier. But either one, I mean, all espadrilles are fantastic. I love them all, but it's all a matter of which one makes your heart sing the loudest. But as far as what I find to be more comfortable, again, it will have to be the lambskin. I will have to say that make sure that you go into the boutique and try them out, because everyone has a different foot, obviously, and they might end up fitting a little bit. The canvas ones or the fabric ones seem to be a lot tighter initially. Of course, they do end up stretching, but nowhere near as much as the lambskin ones do. But still, I would highly recommend going into the boutique, trying them out. And a lot of you have asked me if I find them to be comfortable. I find them to be very, very comfortable because I have flat feet. What I mean by that is I don't have an arch. So flip-flops, any type of shoes that don't have any type of arch support are very comfortable for me. So I feel that if you have a high arch, they might be a little bit uncomfortable. Also, if the top of your foot seems to be a little bit taller, this part right here ends up kind of digging into your foot a little bit more. And it seems to do so more with the fabric version than the lambskin version. But again, all in all, I would prefer the lambskin, but it's all a matter of personal preference. So hopefully that was able to give you a little help with pros and cons. All right, next question from Dana Swain. Hopefully I said that correctly. What do you think about the Berri MM? Wonderful question. The Berri MM from Louis Vuitton retails for $16.50 here in the States. Unfortunately, I don't have a picture to share with you guys, but I will put a link on the description box below for extra eye candy so you can check it out and see which bag I am talking about. Now, the Berri is also available in the PM version, and I believe that one is $1,600. Don't quote me on it, but it is a monogram canvas bag. The best way to describe this bag, if you haven't seen it, is that it's more like it reminds me of like a dressed up soli. So it is a hobo. It has the one shoulder strap, and it is a beautiful bag, but personally, it is not for me because, like I said before, it does remind me of the soli. I did end up selling that bag because it was just a little too slouchy for my taste. And I also have to say that one of the things that I'm not too crazy about when it comes to the Berri is the fact that it does have the vachetta corners on the outside of the bag. So I feel that anytime you have that much vachetta on a bag, especially on the corners, it's more prone to color transfer, it's more prone to wear, just because with any bag it seems that the corners end up wearing the quickest. So that's the only thing that just kind of turns me off about the bag. But other than that, it's just it's a really comfortable, it's a really, really comfortable hobo. So if a hobo is something that you like, then I would definitely go for it. And the strap is very comfortable from what I've heard as well. So it's all, like I said before, since it does remind me of the soli. The soli did have a very comfortable strap. So it's more the corners that end up just being the biggest turnoff for myself. But it's all a matter of personal preference. If it makes your heart sing, then definitely go for it. I think it has a pretty good price point for as much bag as it does offer. So that is one major positive aspect about it. So hopefully that was able to help. All right, next question from Karen Schempf. Hopefully I said that correctly. I am going to buy only one Neverfull this year. Should it be an azure or an ebene with rose ballerine? I live in Arizona, so rain isn't a big concern, and it's not wintry, so we wear light colors for many months. But I do switch to fall clothes for November through March. I just can't decide which would give me the best bang for the buck. They both make my heart sing. I will be buying it in Europe this summer. Awesome question. All right, so you're going to be buying one Neverfull this year, and you're thinking whether the azure or the demi ebene with the rose ballerine interior. Between the two, well, actually, I think the rose ballerine interior works regardless whether it's azure or ebene. I think it is such a fantastic combination. But if you live somewhere where you don't have to worry about rain and you do get quite a bit of sunshine in Arizona, I think between the two, I would most definitely go for the azure. I just feel that I feel that the combination works just a tad bit better on azure. I just like the overall lightness of the bag with that interior and that type of canvas or that type of print. The demi ebene Neverfull, I do have that bag in my collection as well. It is my least used out of the three, just because it tends to kind of dig into your shoulders a little bit. It's a little bit harder to break in over time. It's nowhere near as comfortable as the straps on the monogram or the demi azure. So as far as comfort wise goes, I would go for the azure. Something that's 100% carefree, then you can go for demi ebene, because you don't have to worry about color stains or water stains or anything like that. But again, you don't have to worry about rain, so I would most definitely go for the azure. Plus, I do love the way that azure looks when it's used, during the winter season, just because I feel that it adds an overall lightness to your outfit. But just keep in mind that if you do end up wearing darker colors, you might end up having color transfer on the print since it's so light. So there are a few things to take into consideration. Again, I think year round you can use the demi ebene. It's just uncomfortable on the shoulder. It digs in, but the azure I just feel just works. it's since you have such great weather in Arizona, I think that's the one that I would choose. But it's all a matter of personal preference. But hopefully that was able to help. All right, next question from Fur. Hopefully I said that correctly. What do you think about the new Chanel Gabrielle collection? Any thoughts on the hobo bag? Love this question. Now, the Chanel Gabrielle collection was recently launched. I think by now it's been a month now, maybe a month and a few weeks if I'm not mistaken. And it's not for me. It's not for me. I feel that, I don't know, I do like the leather. It reminds me of the leather that they use for the reissues, but I feel that the bag just has, I don't know, I feel like it's too much. I feel like there's too much going on. It has the leather strap and it also has a chain strap, so it's kind of reminiscent of a boy bag, but it's not for me, you know, but I don't know, it kind of reminds me of, do you remember, what was it? The girl bag from Chanel? That's what it kind of reminds me of. I know that it's not necessarily similar to it, but I don't know why I can't help but think of that bag when I think of this collection. I know a lot of people are crazy about it. I unfortunately am just not one of them, and I feel that with the hobo, it already slouches on its own before any type of wear, so I'm just thinking over time it'll end up getting even slouchier. But again, it has that type of leather where it has that aged leather look, that's the look that it's supposed to have, you know, and a lot of people like that. I do appreciate it, but it's unfortunately not for me. It's not my taste, but to each their own. All right, next question from Anna Maria. I remembered one of your previous videos, you did say that you were going to check out the Goyard St. Louis. Did you get to the boutique in London? If you did, share your thoughts. Great question. Unfortunately, I didn't have a chance to check out Goyard in London, but I did have the opportunity to get to experience it firsthand. And while it is still on my wish list, it is not on the same priority I guess level as it used to be. It's further down. And I do like the St. Louis. I like the simplicity of it. I love the history of it. I find that the print on the exterior is a little busy, but it's not to the point where I think it's overwhelming. And I think there's so many great aspects about the bag, but I don't know if it's necessarily for me. So that's why I still left it on the wish list. It's further down, but you know, when I got to hold it in my hands, I didn't get the same feeling that I thought I would get, you know, that my heart would start singing, that I would just start, that I was just, you know, going to do a mad dash to go purchase it. I don't know what it is that holds me back, to be honest. I have no idea. I've done research on it. I know the pros, I know the cons. A lot of people say that it tends to wear very easily. It tends to kind of break, not break, but it tends to, what's it called? It tends to crack where the varnish is. So I've taken all of that into consideration, and I still think it's a beautiful bag. I absolutely love Goyard, like I said before, the history of them, but I don't know what it is. It's kind of like the Louis Vuitton Montaigne. I think it is such a stunning bag in the empreinte leather, but there's just that you know, it's almost like something that's constantly saying, no, don't get it, don't get it. I sound like a lunatic while I'm saying this, but I don't know. And I feel that I have to listen to that because, again, kind of like what we've touched base on before, I feel that's, you know, it's my gut instinct saying that maybe it's not for you. You know, because there's a lot of bags that a lot of people rave about, a lot of people love. I've raved about so many different bags, but it might not necessarily be, you know, for example, to anyone else's taste. But I do appreciate it, but there's something that just says not yet or don't get it, you know, it's maybe not for you. So until I can figure out what that is, who knows? But I do love how lightweight it is. I found it to be lightweight. Some people have said that they find it to be a little bit heavier than the Louis Vuitton Neverfull. I don't find that at all. I find it to be very, very lightweight, in my opinion. So I don't know. Only time will tell if it ends up making its way back up to the list or if it even makes it onto, you know, to my collection. I feel like I'm getting so tongue-tied. All right, next question from Karen Bevins. Hopefully I said that correctly. Could you please tell me, in your opinion, which card holders are the best? I love anything pink as well, or with pink on it. Great question. I did bring out a few different fashion houses, as well as a few different, just to show the different types of, some of the different types of card holders that I have. The first one is from Chanel, the O-Zip coin purse in the fuchsia with the light gold hardware. I did a review on this, or maybe it was the gray one, but I am a big fan of this O-Zip coin purse because I feel that it's very compact, but it still fits quite a bit. So whether you want to put this in a larger handbag or a smaller handbag, you can do that. You have the zipper, so it does have that sense of security. And because it has all these little compartments, you can actually fit a lot more than you would think. This is very similar to the Louis Vuitton zippy coin purse. I did have the zippy coin purse. I actually had a few in my collection. And while I did like it, I actually feel that this one ends up fitting just a little bit more than that one does. So that's the only thing, you know, that I'm just a big fan of this card holder in general. I also have the Chanel snap button closure card holder. I think these are now discontinued because they have a different style to them, but these just have the snap button closure, so it is still fairly secure. It does have just two little pockets. I don't know if you're gonna be able to see them or not. You have one little pocket here and then another little slip pocket there, so you're able to fit just a little bit more, maybe a little bit less actually than this one, but a little bit more than this type of card holder from Chanel, which is the flat card holder. Now these are great if you're running errands for the day, or let's say that you don't tend to carry too much with you on the day-to-day. Let's say maybe you have one credit card, your driver's license, and then you tend to carry a few bills. You can do that, but if you want to carry a little bit more, it's very limiting because you only have a total of 3 credit card slots, 2 in the back, 1 in the front, and then you also have this one up here. And it doesn't, I mean, it does have a little bit of give, but not as much as if, let's say you started getting receipts in there and more bills. It'll end up being just too bulky. So you have to carry very few cards when it comes to this one. And I do also have the Saint Laurent flat card holder as well, and I also have a Lagarto card holder. I don't think you guys have seen this one, but if you follow me on Instagram, you have. Now, Yves Saint Laurent, I am a big fan of this card holder. I haven't had a single issue with it. When I use this card holder, I tend to use it for weeks on end, and I haven't had, literally, I've had no wear on it whatsoever. They have a fuchsia, kind of like the Chanel one, and they also have a baby pink with gold hardware. It is absolutely stunning. And what I love about Yves Saint Laurent the most is that they have a very friendly price tag compared to some of the other brands. And again, you have the pebbled leather, so it's extremely durable. I think it's even more durable than caviar leather from Chanel, but to each their own. But on this one, you have a total of 4 credit card slots. So you have 2 on the front, 2 on the back, and then you have another one here at the very top. Again, it is a little bit limiting, but you do have 1 more credit card slot than you do with the Chanel. And I believe these retail for $400. Or maybe they're $440 now. I can't remember. I know they went up in price. So, you know, it's half the price, and I feel that this is a lot more durable than this. So those are just a few examples. Louis Vuitton also has the card holder. A lot of people love that because it also has a great price point. It is mostly canvas, but you're also able to pick a few different colors that you can choose from. But again, it does have a great price point. I think it comes in at $225 or $250. I can't remember, something like that. So it's very similar to the Yves Saint Laurent. So those are just a few examples, and hopefully that was able to help. And the last question from GZ15, this is from Instagram, hopefully I said that correctly. I'm struggling between getting the Pochette Metis in monogram or Empreinte rose. Do you think that the Empreinte is a trendy item and won't keep its value? Great question, and I do have the monogram Pochette Metis, so we have even more eye candy. There we go. It has a really nice patina going on, and then you can really see the difference when I pull on the strap. You can see how how light that is right there. And I will put a link to the Louis Vuitton Empreinte Rose Pochette Metis on the description box below, so we have even more eye candy. Okay, so do I think that it's a trendy item as far as it being an Empreinte? Not at all, because it's already, yeah, I mean, the Pochette Metis in general is just such a fantastic silhouette, and I think it works. And by them introducing it in the Empreinte leather, it kind of, you know, it expands, you know, how many people can experience or can appreciate the bag even more so. So maybe if you're not a fan of canvas, maybe you want to go for the Empreinte version, then I think that it was great. It was phenomenal that they ended up introducing this bag to their fashion house or to their lineup. And I don't think it's trendy because it doesn't have too many bells and whistles. It's pretty much the same thing as the monogram one, just on an Empreinte version. So it makes it a little bit more carefree. You don't have to worry about any type of water stains. You don't have to worry about patina. You don't have to worry about anything like that. And when it comes to Empreinte leather, you can virtually use it in any type of weather. So I do love that aspect about it. And now I will have to say that when it comes to colors, that's the only time when you have to think about resale value, or just in general with any fashion house, because I think that black bags, brown bags will always be, they always have a better resale value because everyone and anyone, you know, can rock a black bag or a brown bag. But when it comes to colored handbags, you have to find the right buyer that wants that wants to add that specific color into their collection. You know, and there's a lot of pink lovers out there. They also have the cerise, which is absolutely gorgeous in the Empreinte. I mean, again, anytime I see a red bag, I just kind of drool all over it. But I don't think it's trendy, and I do think that they will hold their resale value because, again, there's so many great aspects about the Pochette Metis, but they kind of elevated it a little bit more by making it a little bit more carefree, and the fact that it is an all-around leather handbag. I think that's also phenomenal. Personally, for me, I finally had the chance to check out the rose, and it just wasn't for me. I think I prefer just the canvas version. I don't know what it is. I think that this just has a soft spot in my heart, and I don't know if I'll end up adding another type of version into my collection anytime soon, but for now I'm just really loving using the monogram version. But it's a matter of whatever makes your heart sing. If that's what you want to go for, then absolutely go for it. All right, you guys, so that does it for Minks Monday Q&A. Thank you so much for all of the wonderful questions, and hopefully I was able to help. I wanted to give a little bit more detail than I normally would whenever I do Minks Monday, just because I didn't have as many questions as before, and I was trying to keep it at the same amount because I don't know, Minks Monday, it's always a 30-minute video. But again, thank you guys so much from the bottom of my heart for all of your well wishes, for keeping me in your thoughts and prayers, and just checking up on me every day to see if I'm doing okay. You have no idea how much that means to me, and I am just always so touched, and I am so honored to have you all in my life. And I mean, I can say every single day that I'm grateful, and it still wouldn't be enough. So thank you so much. And hopefully, again, next week, everything will be back to normal. Hopefully I'm able to laugh a little bit more like me. But again, because of the incisions, it's a little painful. And hopefully it can get better. But thank you so much for watching. As far as this week's lineup, I will be doing my April favorites tomorrow, and then I thought about doing what I ended up purchasing from Sephora through the VIB sale. I don't know if I'm going to. I already started using some of the items, but yeah, I think I might. So I think that'll probably be for Wednesday, if not Thursday. So thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it, and if you haven't already and you would like to, please subscribe to my YouTube channel, and if you did like this video, give it a thumbs up, and as always, make it a fabulous day or not. The choice is yours. Have a great day, you guys.